everyone. I'm Fozzie, or Cam, and I'm here with my co-host Will. How are you doing today, Will?
Cam, I'm doing fantastic. Great to do this as always. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Welcome to the Everything Podcast, guys. So before we start the show, last show I said we'd do an unscripted segment. We didn't do that. But, because the episode was long enough as it is, and we kind of only thought of that to extend the episode time. But we do have something that's kind of unscripted, and Will, we were talking about this before the show, and I was a little annoyed with this, I gotta say. Will said, because he's watching, he's like binge watching all those Marvel movies, and he said he's not going to watch, Ant-Man or Doctor Strange.
Second Ant-Man.
Oh, second Ant-Man. My bad.
Yeah, second Ant-Man.
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
That is my bad.
So I was a little disappointed in him because, like, honestly, I don't know why you would think that. I don't know why you would think that you wouldn't need to watch them, and how could you not be interested in watching them?
All right, let me explain to you. So I'll be honest. At this point, since I'm watching them in timeline order, I was at a point where I was just kind of thinking, I've kind of found my people, and I'm not too interested in new characters at this point. I was considering Doctor Strange, but I watched the first Ant-Man, and I'll be honest, wasn't my favorite, so I didn't have, really any excitement to watch the second Ant-Man, and I was totally planning on watching the third Thor movie, because everybody had said that was outstanding, and
it really is,
and I don't question that one bit. But at this point, I just kind of found my characters didn't have a ton of interest, especially after watching the first Ant-Man, which I did not find very, it was not one of my favorites. So I thought, I can't do too bad. So let's watch the third Thor, and then let's move on to the final two Avengers movies. But then Cam, aka Fozzie, when I tell him this before the show, throws a Thor hammering, how dare you at me, and I took offense to what Cam said, mostly because we had never even, really talked about these movies before, and I had never heard that Doctor Strange was an outstanding movie. So
okay, that's fair, but still, it's like, but you need to watch those movies, even if you don't like them. If you want to be like a true Marvel fan and have understand what's going on, then you need to watch every movie, every TV show that is Marvel canon.
Well, yes, of course I'm going to be watching all the TV shows. Of course, like most of those are very good. So of course I will do that. But also, as I told you before the show, it was not like I was not going to watch them at some time. Of course I was.
But you won't know what's going on in Avengers Endgame or Avengers Infinity War if you don't see those movies.
Okay, thank you. All right, do we need to discuss more of this topic? Because I think we've kind of sorted through it already.
All right, I guess not. So, enough with that unscripted segment. So yeah, let's lead off with some music, Will. So I asked you to listen to All of Me by John Legend, an outstanding song. How did you feel about that?
Yeah, absolutely outstanding. Like you said, by the way, see you September 20th on The Voice, John Legend. Looking forward to seeing you then. But yes, outstanding song. I mean, that's probably John Legend's greatest song ever. I mean,
yeah.
Find one that's better than that. Just so outstanding. I think at the end of the music video for that song, I think he shows a scene from him and his wife, Chrissy Teigen's wedding, I believe, at the end of the music video of that song. So, yeah, just outstanding, like you said.
Yeah, John Legend, an outstanding musician. The vocals are just top notch. I feel like. I mean, how cool is it to have the last name Legend? That's just awesome.
Absolutely. I think his real name is like John Rogers.
Oh,
Even
really?
He goes by John Legend. I
Really?
on Wikipedia at some time. But,
Oh, wow. I didn't know that was a stage name, actually. I thought that was his real name.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
no, that's just what I read. But yeah, no, again, an outstanding song. And if people haven't checked out his newest album from last year, Bigger Love, totally check that out. It's a fantastic album. And yeah, I don't think there's much more to say about that song because it's probably his greatest song ever.
Definitely. Our next song I asked you to listen to was Am I Wrong by Nico and Vinz. And before you respond to that, Nico and Vinz, some people might call them a one-hit wonder. They're not very popular. As are most of these people on this list today, actually. The people on this list for this episode, except for John Legend, are kind of one-hit wonders or no names, if you will. They're not mainstream, not top tier. They're like second, third, or even fourth tier. So Nico and Vinz is probably not that popular. But their music is outstanding. It's mostly R&B, and I'm not a huge R&B guy, but this music is so good. I mean, I don't really love R&B in all their songs. They're just so uplifting, so happy, so just great. And this is probably their best song, and I guess their most popular song, Am I Wrong by Nico and Vinz.
Yeah, no, I'm totally with everything that you said there, Cam. You know, even if they're kind of, one-hit wonders, at least as far as I'm concerned, that song is played on the radio quite, a lot. And, I know people can kind of get, tired with, songs that are played on the radio, a lot over time. But I don't think, that at all takes away from that being a fantastic song by them.
Yeah.
It's a great song.
It really is. It's an outstanding song. So our next song, let's see, let me pull it up here. I gave you the song Believer by American Authors. Again, American Authors, kind of a one-hit wonder. Their one hit being Best Day of My Life. Another outstanding song, which I was actually considering putting on this list, but I feel like most people knew it, and I love that song. So I put a lesser-known song, Believer, by American Authors. How did you feel about that one, Will?
Yeah, I liked that one as well. Like Tomorrow Never Knows, which we did last week, I really, loved the, message in that song is, being a believer. So, yeah, another fantastic song, and I love the message in it, too.
I have noticed in a lot of American Authors songs, they have a great message, actually. It's just a positive, happy message. And I plan on putting more of their songs in our music segments in weeks to come.
Sounds good.
Our next song that I asked you to listen to was Ophella. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce that. It's Ophella by the Lumineers.
Yeah, I personally like both of the Lumineer songs that you had up.
Yeah, the other Lumineer song that I suggested to him was Cleopatra, I think it is.
Yeah, I can't think of anything, bad to say about those songs, personally. Can you?
No, not at all, really. And my favorite in those two being Cleopatra, it's so good and just catchy. And the Lumineers they're a great band, and you might disagree. I find similarities between them and the Avett Brothers, actually. But not because the Avett Brothers use banjo and stuff, different instruments. But I will notice the vocals are kind of similar. Maybe that was just me, but that's what I kind of got from that.
Yeah, I will listen a bit more deeply to it, and then maybe I can get back to you on some future show about that, Cam, because I think that is a good point, and I will listen a bit more deeply, and maybe I can tell you if I kind of feel the same way on one of our future shows.
Yeah. All right, and I think that those were the last two songs on our agenda. So, we'll take it away with our sports segment.
Yeah, so I think let's go ahead and mostly focus on the NFL today, Cam. I mean, the season creeps closer day by day, and we kind of did first impressions of the rookie quarterbacks last week. So let's go through some second impressions this week. Let's go ahead and start with Mac Jones, since his game was first on Thursday. I thought he looked really good out there personally. Cam Newton looked good. Obviously, that was something in every way, shape, or form from the Patriots.
Oh yeah.
To the Eagles, 35-0, and I thought Jones looked really good and improved from last week, which is what you want to see from your rookie QB.
Yeah, it really is what you want to see, and like you said, I was actually very impressed with Cam Newton's performance. But then he, what did he do? He had a misunderstanding with the COVID guidelines.
Oh yeah.
So that kind of made me a little upset. Me being a Patriots fan, and you as well.
I get it. Yeah.
It's upsetting because as soon as he does good, he has to go out there and have a misunderstanding, with COVID procedures, which is just come on, Cam, step it up. You're an NFL quarterback, and you're going to be starting week 1. If you want to start and hold your position on the team, you got to step it up. You got to tighten up, man.
Yeah, and just with this virus, because I think, pretty much, it's kind of clear to all of us, I think, at this point that Cam Newton is not, vaccinated, and I just want to, say, this virus is not a joke, and if you're not, planning to get the vaccine soon, if you haven't, then I don't know what you're doing, because this virus is a serious thing, and it is no joke, so go and get vaccinated, Cam.
Yeah.
Cam Newton, that is. Fozzie here, but yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree with you. But yeah, Mac Jones, great performance by him. I thought he was one of the better of the rookie quarterbacks this week, and I can't wait. Well, actually, I doubt he'll play the third preseason game. I think that might just be a Hoyer game.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, I personally, think Jones will play for at least a little bit of it, but maybe you're right. Maybe that will be more of a game for Brian Hoyer. Let's go to Zach Wilson, because he was another quarterback who had a very nice game for the Jets over the weekend, and he's had a really good preseason so far, back-to-back good performances, so I think the Jets should be feeling good about Zach Wilson, and now they just have to worry about finding a way to get better talent around him.
Yeah, I agree with you. Zach Wilson, definitely a great quarterback, and I think I said it last podcast, where he's better than Sam Darnold, and he is.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because Sam Darnold was a quarterback that was drafted like first round, right? Or is it second round? It was first round, yeah.
Sounds right to me.
And he was part of that group, like him, Josh Rosen, if you remember him from the Cardinals. He was on the Cardinals when he was drafted. He was part of that group. That kind of was just not that good, But then, I think it was that same draft where Josh Allen was drafted. And for a while, Josh Allen was a complete trash can,
Look at him now.
Yeah. But I don't see that happening with Sam Darnold or Josh Rosen for sure.
Right.
But that was a little off topic. But
No, it's all good.
But yeah, continue.
A nice showing for Zach Wilson again over the weekend in his second NFL preseason game. Let's move on to Trey Lance. He did basically, what you want a rookie quarterback to do as well, which is bounce back from adversity. He obviously started the game, took a sack where maybe he should have ran a bit, And he also had an interception where he threw the ball too high. So, but he obviously bounced back, got a couple touchdowns. He did run in for a 2-point conversion, but it was called back due to holding. But Trey Lance bouncing back from adversity and
It's good to see.
looking better than his first game, I would say.
Yeah, it's good to see. It's good to see improvement. Definitely good to see improvement. Certainly from a coaching standpoint, it's awesome to see improvement, and you're possibly starting or maybe starting quarterback actually.
Yeah. I mean, we'll obviously see what happens. I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo, I mean, he'll probably be around, 2 more years at the most, and then, the Niners will move on to Trey Lance. But yeah, Kyle Shanahan actually didn't say anything about who his starting quarterback was going to be after the game. He just left that open, so it'll be...
It could be both. It could be both of them, actually, because Jimmy G is...
Absolutely.
Oh, continue. What were you saying?
No, I think you're absolutely right, and I think you kind of could use both of them after Sunday, because they both kind of had similar performances. Lance played longer, but they both had interceptions in the game.
Yeah, I agree. And Jimmy Garoppolo is nothing special, but we have to take into consideration that he did get to a Super Bowl against the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, I'm not saying it was like he did anything special to get to the Super Bowl. I think it mostly was Kyle Shanahan and his coaching ability and the players around.
He didn't really do much in the NFC Championship game because they just ran the ball down the Packers' throats. So, I mean, he only threw 9 passes.
That is true.
In that game.
Yeah, and he doesn't need to because they have a good running core. So
they do.
So I mean, why risk like an interception where you can just give a nice easy handoff for a first down? I mean, why not?
Totally. I think you're right about that. Okay, Justin Fields. The Bears obviously blew out over the weekend. I mean, Bears friends taunting Andy Dalton, making it clear that everyone is their starting quarterback. Your thoughts on Justin Fields?
So I saw a statement actually, where Justin Fields was actually upset with Bears fans because while Andy Dalton was out there, they were chanting Fields' name, and I agree with Justin Fields. That is ridiculous. Andy Dalton is a fine quarterback. He's been in the league for a long time. He's a veteran. They have no right to say anything at all about Andy Dalton.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care if it is the worst quarterback on your team out there on the field. They are on your team, and therefore you have a right, and you are basically required to cheer them on and give them the support that they deserve while they are on the field. If you're booing Andy Dalton, how do you think that's going to help him in the team? Well, I'll give you the answer. Not one bit. Bears fans, that is so disgusting. I thought you were much better than that.
As did I. And as a Patriots fan, if Cam Newton's in and he's doing bad, they wouldn't chant like
at all.
Put in Jones or anything like that.
Even in the first preseason game, did they give Mac Jones a standing ovation when he came on the field?
It was his first time in the NFL. Exactly. So why not?
But were they booing Cam Newton while he was on the field? Absolutely not.
Nope.
So,
so I'm just gonna... I'll leave it at that for that rant over there.
Okay, sounds good. I actually did not get to see this, so I'll let you tell me your thoughts on Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence, again, a steady game, you know? From what I've heard, I haven't actually heard much about Trevor Lawrence during, training camp, practice, which I'd actually put as a good thing. Because the less drama, the less news you hear about someone means they're just doing steady. They're not doing anything outstanding. They're not doing anything that's just garbage, that's crap. They're just playing good. And there's nothing to comment on. So that's just great to hear. And I think he had a decent game.
Cool. And obviously, you know, what more can you really expect from a rookie in their second preseason, you know, game
Yes.
game ever in the NFL? I mean, Trevor Lawrence is probably doing the best that he can right now, I think,
Yeah.
for a particular moment. And also, I mean, the Jaguars aren't a very good team, so for him to play well with a not very good team obviously makes it all the more impressive.
Sure does.
Yeah, there is the that's the quarterback news from the NFL as we inch closer toward the season. So Cam, I'll let you move on to the next segment unless you want to say some other sports news that you have on your mind.
I'm all good. And that would take us to our movie review, which I am very, very, very excited for. So today we'll be reviewing the movie Knives Out. It's a mystery movie, a detective movie, a great movie. It is outstanding. One of the best movies I've seen in a long, long time. Daniel Craig as our detective in this movie. He's awesome, and I really thought this was probably one of the best performances I've seen, not only by Daniel Craig, but by any actor. And Chris Evans actually is in this movie.
Is he?
Yes, and he is great. I don't want to spoil this for anyone, but he plays an unlikable character. Kind of a bad guy, if you will. He's not a great guy. And he does that perfectly. He plays that role amazingly. He plays a bad guy just outstanding. And it just has such great suspense in this movie. Every scene, like, I forget I'm watching a movie when I'm watching this. I feel like I'm right in there with Daniel Craig trying to solve this case. It's great, and it's so satisfying with the end reveal of who did it. Daniel Craig's character, I guess. Once he explains how this all happen, how the crimes are all committed, it all makes sense and is the most satisfying thing. Because it all makes sense. You all understand it. Everything you've seen in this movie is just coming together. And it's beautiful. It really is. And there's a cool story arc, I guess, if you will, where our lead character, if she says a lie, she throws up. It sounds ridiculous, I know. But it again, as if she wants to lie, she just can't get away with anything. And sometimes she does get away with stuff, but there is one scene where she throws up on another character. Chris Evans.
Oh boy.
Yeah. But it's kind of an insane scene. And it's also a very funny movie. There are some very funny lines. I mean, there's some scenes where Daniel Craig is just great and he just makes me laugh out loud sometimes. Chris Evans also so funny, hilarious character. I mean, probably not hilarious, that's not the exact right term for it. He's a funny character and it's funny sometimes, you know? It's great. And,
Sure.
Will, you haven't seen this movie, but, I definitely recommend it to anyone who wants a great mystery, a great suspenseful film.
Yeah, not to get back into our Marvel feud, but I'll definitely check that out when I am done with the Marvel movies. All I have to say is that if you felt like you actually weren't watching a movie and that you were really there, that's all that needs to be said.
Yeah, and people might feel different from me, but I love this movie. I really did.
That's awesome. What year did it come out?
2019.
19, okay. No, I will definitely check that out.
Yeah, and I hear they're coming up with a sequel, but it's different case files for each movie. They're gonna come up with a 2 and 3, and it's not gonna be called Knives Out 2. That's just like a placeholder because they haven't done the official name. and 2 and 3 are just going to be Daniel Craig going around and solving different cases. So I'm excited to see that, and I'm excited to see the new cast, and it's sort of an ensemble cast, like with all A-list actors like Chris Evans, Jamie Lee Curtis, you might know her from the Halloween movies, is in this movie, and she nails it as well. One of the best, probably the best character in this entire movie. I take that back. One of the best characters in the entire movie. And I'm excited to see the sequel.
Yeah.
And
so it sounds like you would give this a full-out A here, Cam.
I'm going to give it an A+. Great movie. Totally recommend it.
Yeah. I mean, usually I give like A at the most, because I don't really know like exactly like what would make a movie full-on A+, but I'm not mad at anything that you said there, and I will definitely check that out.
Yeah. And that was a relatively short segment, actually. Only 5 minutes. But yeah, you can take it away with our final segment, Movie of the Week.
Alright, I'm not gonna do a Marvel movie today, because for some reason I just feel like, we could get down another line of arguing here, but I'm gonna go ahead and go. I did Rocky 4 a few weeks ago. I'll do another one of my favorite, or another Rocky movie that I enjoy, and that's Rocky 2. Obviously, great, storyline in the movie, with obviously what happens to Adrian, and the scene where she tells Rocky to win. Obviously, kind of one of the best scenes in the history of the entire Rocky franchise.
It's an iconic scene in movie history, honestly.
Absolutely, there's no doubt about it, and obviously, when there's a Rocky movie where, except for Rocky 5, obviously,
that's a bad movie,
which is an outlier and a bad movie, like you said. But obviously, all Rocky movies, pretty much, if Rocky's struggling, financially, or he's down in the dumps, it's so rewarding when he's able to win a fight and get back on top in the end. And I don't think there could have been a better sequel than Rocky 1 and Rocky 2. So great job, Sly.
Yeah, it's one of the better sequels of any movie of all time. But the best sequel of all time is Terminator 2, I will say. But that's off topic. I totally agree with you, and Rocky 2, this might surprise a lot of people, but it was actually the first Rocky movie I've ever watched, so it has that extra special value to me, and I really like it. And just a awesome sequel, awesome movie.
Yeah. So, since you watched Rocky 2 first, after that, did you go Rocky 1 and then Rocky 3, 4, 5, and then The Creed?
Yes. Yes, I did.
But, yeah, no, this is, full out. Yeah, I mean, actually, since you gave, Knives Out an A+, I'll just go ahead and say, yeah, A+ for Rocky 2. Great movie.
Yeah. I agree with you. It's awesome movie, great sequel, and yeah, is that all you have for that?
Yeah, pretty much. I can't think of much else to say, although I will say one of the best Rocky training montages in this film.
But I will say it is not the best. The Rocky 4 one is the best.
Yeah, I would probably agree with you, although Rocky 4 narrowly is the best, and Rocky 2, it's very good. So I would I would agree with you, although the Rocky 2 one is outstanding.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, if that does it for you, then that does it for me too. That rhymed. I'm a poet and I didn't even know it. But yeah. Thank you guys for tuning into this episode of the Everything Podcast. Remember to subscribe, leave a like, comment, all that stuff, Also, this is a probably good time to promote myself. I have a YouTube channel called Fozzie, and I make gaming content, I make comedy content. I do all sorts of stuff, you know. If you like this podcast, then you'll definitely like my channel. So yeah, definitely check that out. Remember to subscribe to that. Remember to subscribe to this. And yeah, thanks guys for tuning in, and have a great day. Bye.